80, could I ask other officers to introduce themselves, please?
Lauren Gregory, Democratic Services. I will be minute taking today.
Peter Sparham, Licensing Officer.
Mary Lou Clark, Trainee Solicitor and Legal Advisor for the Council.
And gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves? Can you work the machinery?
Yeah. Mr. Andrew Farnell, a trustee of the Overstrand Sports Club.
I'm Bill Knight, committee member of the Overstrand Sports Club.
Michael Cox, I'm a trustee of Overstrand Sports Club and chairman of the sports club.
Oh, well, thank you very much indeed. So our Democratic Services Officer, Lauren, will be keeping us in complete control. The licensing officer will introduce the application, and our legal advisor will jump on us when we get it all wrong. So so we'll go to the licensing officer to introduce the application, please.
Thank you, Chair. This hearing is to determine an application for a new premises licence made under Section 17 of the Licensing Act 2003 by the Overstrand Sports Club in relation to the premises at Overstrand Sports Club, High Street, Overstrand, NR 27 0BP. The application was received by the Licensing Authority on the 5th of May 2026. A copy of the application can be found at Appendix A, pages 153 to 169. A site plan and location plan can be found on page 169, and there is a supplementary plan which is being made available of the outside space. The premises currently benefits from a club premises certificate which permits licensable activities of plays, films, Sunday to Saturday, 10 o'clock to 2300, indoor sporting events, live music, recorded music, performance of dancing and supply of alcohol to club members, Sunday to Saturday, 1000 to 0200. The application has been subject to the statutory consultation period prescribed by regulation. It was advertised in the Cromer Times newspaper on the 15th of May 2026, and a blue notice was displayed at the entrance to the premises and a number of points on the perimeter of the grounds for a consecutive number of 28 days until the 2nd of June 2026. A copy of both notices can be found on pages 205 and 207. The application seeks permission for the following: opening hours, Monday to Sunday, 08:30 to 01:30. Plays, films, Monday to Sunday, 1000 to 2300. Indoor sporting events, live music, recorded music, performances of dance and anything similar, Monday to Sunday, 1000 to 0000. Late night refreshment, Monday to Sunday, 2300 to midnight. And sale of alcohol on and off premises, Monday to Sunday, 0900 to 0100. The application states that any outside sales will have a terminal hour of midnight. The application outlines steps intended to promote the licensing objectives, which can be found on page 166. Any premises license granted would be subject to the mandatory licensing conditions set out in pages 134 and 135. Any premises license granted would also be subject to conditions consistent with the operating schedule and the notification of amendment as set out pages 15 and 16 and Annex D, page 136. This subcommittee is required to determine the application following the receipt of 14 representations from other persons. These representations can be found Annex C, pages 175 to 203. The relevant issues raised relate to public nuisance. No representations were received from responsible authorities. The subcommittee will be aware when determining this application, it must confine its consideration to the promotion of the licensing objectives. The licensing authority must have regard to the written and oral representations in its statement of licensing policy published under Section 5 of the Licensing Act 2003 and the guidance issued by the Secretary of State under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, which was most recently revised in February of this year. The licensing authority must carry out its licensing functions with a view to promoting the licensing objectives, namely prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. In determining the application, the subcommittee may take such steps as it considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. The subcommittee may grant the application subject to the conditions relative to the promotion of the licensing objectives, or refuse the application. There is a right of appeal against the decision of the subcommittee to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days, and this is available to any party aggrieved by the decision. This concludes my submission, Chair.
Thank you very much. Do we have questions for our licensing officer?
Only from me. Can I just confirm that this application is to run alongside a member's license?
Quite correct. I'm not given to understand that that would be surrendered at this stage.
Right. Okay. And there's one more question. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, if I read the application correctly, at the moment, there's a possibility that this application could run events 365 days of the year.
That's correct, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the rock stock, which is referred to in here, has always been granted under a temporary events notice, has it?
That's correct, Chair.
And have there been any other events granted under a temporary events notice?
I'm unaware of that. I can't check, but I'm unaware of that. The Rockstock is the main one that we have concern.
Right. Okay. Have you got any questions, Mary? Lou?
No. Oh, yeah. No, I have no questions, but the applicant can ask questions of the licensing officer, as can the objector.
Yeah. Have you got any questions, Jonathan, to ask of our licensing officer?
Well, if it's appropriate to now speak about these things, we've read the objections, and I've just made a very short list of our responses, which would be there's no intent.
You will get a chance to speak
Oh, I see.
in
Fair
a
enough.
moment.
Then
If you've
for the
got any
gentleman-
specific questions to ask,
No, perhaps just an amendment that we do have a village fair, which occasionally we apply for a TENS license for as well. That's the
Right.
addition to what's
helpful. Thank
stated.
you. And I do apologise, sir. I didn't realise we had an objecting speaker. Could you introduce yourself? And if you've got any questions for our licensing officer, you certainly. Could you put your microphone on? There's a little face. Thank you.
I do have a direct question regarding the licensing. The sound levels that we recorded recently for the events that have taken place, I'm unsure regarding to your authority as to whether there are limits on sound levels relating to public performance in a residential area.
Unfortunately, sir, I'm not a sound expert, but there will be, and it would be reported to our environmental health department should you have complaints.
Okay.
Well, I would premise my remarks, Mr. Chairman, by saying that I am a supporter of the Overstrand Sports Club. I live almost opposite. But my comments relate really to the fact that it is a sports club. It is not a music venue. And at recent events, we've had sound levels in the properties surrounding the area, in our own bedroom, for example, of 71 decibels, which is quite high. In the street, Harbord Road, around the grounds, we've had sound levels of 88 and 86. And these are fairly consistent. And the other part of the comments really relate to the fact that the licensing application involves quite long hours for 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Therefore,
there'll
the
be
cons-
another chance for you to give,
Pardon?
or there'll be another chance for you to speak longer.
Okay.
I wanted to keep specifically to.
Chair, we didn't, we did sort of skip, despite the fact that the procedure is set out in there, we did skip the procedure bit. Might it be helpful just so everybody understands the procedure
Yeah,
if Mary Lou
yeah.
just gave a quick
Yeah,
summary?
that would be more helpful. Yeah.
Just so everybody understands.
It is available at page 1 in the agenda, but just to kind of briefly go through it, the licensing officer will outline the application, which Peter has done. The committee then may ask questions of the licensing officer, as can the applicant and the objector. We'll then move on so that the applicant can present their case, followed by any responsible authorities, but there's none present today, and then any objectors, and there'll be questions available to ask of each party at each interval. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, we have to try and keep to these guidelines, otherwise we're getting a real muddle. My fault, I suspect. Where are we? So I think we are able now to go to the applicant for you to outline your case for your application.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So our intention is not to have an open club 7 days a week. We've only ever run perhaps 8 events throughout the whole year. This includes a rugby club end of season festivity, the Rock Stock, which is a purely fundraising for the provision of the grounds, and the village fair, which again incorporates all the village associates, and they have various stalls. But in the interest of trying to get more inclusivity and to improve the funding propositions, we were asked to be, by the people as advice, to raise funds to be more open to the whole village and be less of a closed club. So that was our initial intention, not to have the cap of 499 people as the temporary event notice gave us, just to save that worry that when there's a village fete, there are often people milling in and out, and I'm sure it possibly exceeds that number. So no intention of doing live music for 7 days a week. We no intention of doing any more music than we already do, which is a once a month Friday evening soiree to again just raise funds for the club. The Rock Stock is a big outdoor event, which is its own entity. But in the last 10 years, I've been involved in that, and I've always applied the 10s. We've always made sure the timings have finished at 11:45 PM precisely. And notice there was 1 or 2 objections saying there's been music till perhaps 1 in the morning. And I'd just like it to make it aware that the Kingswood Centre in the old convalescent home in Overstone often has things going on which may be misconstrued as our music and not actually us at all. Thank you.
Right, have we got any questions that we'd like to ask the applicant, Kevin?
Just a couple of things, really. Thank you for the sort of breakdown of what you've just said there in terms of the events you plan to have, or and also community event in terms of village fair. Just a couple of things in terms of, from what Peter said, you're looking at replacing this license with a member's license. So the member's license will no longer exist, and this one will supersede it. Okay. And the other thing is, which has obviously been brought up, parking seems to be an issue. How will you be able to help control that? Because obviously parking, when you're bringing in large amounts of people, seems to be of concern to those who live around the area.
I don't think parking is an issue. It's parking's issue at Rockstock and the village fair. But on the Friday nights that we have the music night, parking is not an issue.
Okay. Right. What about the, I just wondered, because there's a lack of sort of clarity, and I presume these are established events, Rockstock. But regarding ratio of staff, etc., and health and safety and security at these events, that has met the requirements before.
Yes, we haven't had any issues with regards to that.
Yeah, when we apply for the just fine. Yeah, when we apply for the TENS license for Rockstock, we also fill out all the SAG forms and a full management plan to go with all the guidelines that we've been told that we have to do. So we have the right amount of security for the amount of people that we have, and or the right amount of loos and things like that. So like everything's in place for the amount of people that we have come. So we take all the precautions we needed for that event.
Okay. The other question I've got is it indicated it will be finished at 11:15. I'm just talking about Rockstock now. Finish at 11:15. There seems to be quite a
Quarter to 12.
Quarter to 12, right? There's quite a distance between when people can drink still. Is there a requirement for that? I mean, it just seems to go on till you could drink till 1:30.
Yeah, but we've never done that.
Right.
Yeah.
With the existing licence goes till 2 o'clock. We've never served till 2 o'clock in the morning. The Rockstock event is from 2:30 in the afternoon till about 11:45. So I help run the bar. People have had enough. They're going home at 10:30. So there may be 1 or 2 people who help and clear up, and the sound guys who might come in for a drink inside the pavilion itself. But the outside bar, which we have for Rockstock, closes about
Well, it closes
10:30,
yeah,
11:45.
yeah, so it closes once the people start leaving, once
Yeah.
the music stops.
Yeah.
So when we made the premises license application, we put in the application that any outside alcohol sales have to be stopped at midnight anyway. So we put the 1:30 sort of almost like a contingency in case there are 1 or 2 stragglers or any people working there can still go in and get a drink when it's all finished, and that gives us time to, that's sort of more like pack up time, like clear up and closing, rather than actually be up and running selling. That's sort of a contingency for that, really.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
Just actually answered the question. Sorry. You just answered the question I was going to ask anyway, which was regarding basically 1:30 in the morning, 7 days a week seems excessive.
Well, we don't.
I could understand with Rockstock because obviously you have a slightly
Yeah.
different thing. But that was my question, but you've just about answered it anyway.
Unless someone hired the pavilion and the sports ground for a function, the bar is never open in the week. So the bar is open for cricket matches. So that's open on a Saturday for the cricket season, and occasional Sunday games. And then we open the bar for a Friday once a month all year round. And that's about it, really.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned hiring out the club and grounds, I'm assuming, for other functions. What would they be?
Very occasionally, we've done a wedding reception. We've had some wakes in the pavilion.
Yeah, the odd birthday party, just small, yeah.
And what license covers these events?
They're private parties, so
Right,
that's how we've run them as private events.
right. And are you thinking of doing more events like Rockstock?
No, just keeping it to once a year.
Right.
That's it.
So our gentleman over here objecting said that the recorded noise at 88 and at 71, any explanation for what that might have been and when those could have taken place?
Are you referring to the open mic nights, Nick?
Sorry, Sonny.
Are you referring? The gentleman's asked me when do we think that it was noisy? The 88, is that the open mic nights?
No, the noise levels were recorded on the Friday before Rockstock and on Rockstock itself. So the recordings were taken from really when, about 3 o'clock? all the way through to, I think the final one we took was about 11:15.
So from 3 o'clock on the Rockstock Saturday,
Yeah.
but the
Pardon?
music didn't start till about 8 o'clock on the Friday, did it?
No, from the Rockstock noise levels, once Rockstock started, they
Yeah.
were consistent in the figures that I've given.
Yeah, yeah.
For the Friday evening, the noise levels obviously started when the event really got going,
Yeah.
which meant that the noise levels in Harbord Road were similar, but not as loud as those for Rockstock. But we're still talking somewhere in the region of 73 decibels.
Okay, thank you very much.
So
Thank you very
it's
much.
the 2 nights of the year.
So obviously the next question is, how do you monitor the noise output? And what have you got in place to do that?
Well, for Rockstock, we hire in a professional sound company that runs it all. So they know all the regulations that they need to be adhering to.
Short throw loudspeakers.
Yeah, so that they bring a system designed for that sort of area. So
And are you monitoring them?
we don't monitor them. That we pay them a lot of money to come and do their job, and we expect them to that we expect that they are doing their job properly.
Okay, thank you. Peter?
Thank you, Chair. I may have missed it completely, but is it proposed that if the premises licence is granted, that the club premises certificate will be surrendered?
That's correct, yeah.
Thank you. Just another question. On your Friday night monthly events, who's invited to those as it currently stands?
Yes, it's a public event open to any local musician who wants to come and have a wee exploration. So it's very open.
It's more the actual customer base. Who's that open to?
With the general public, of course. Yes. So
Yeah, it's mostly just sort of village locals and that come to our Friday monthlies. There's people from around the village. We don't really get people coming far and wide. And so it's only in the summer, maybe 2 or 3 in the summer, we do them outside in a marquee. But for the rest of the year, it's all indoors.
internal, yeah.
And those that actually come to the Friday night market events, are they members of the club?
Well, currently a member can sign in 10 people.
And does that actually happen on the Friday night mic events?
I wouldn't, I don't know the answer to that.
Thank you. That's all, Chair. Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. I just want to touch on one point about the sound desks, etc. The object of the sound desk is to mix the sound being generated by the people who are playing. It is not generally used to restrict the volume of sound. It's more to do with a balance. Because unless there is a method of recording the sound levels in the area outside of the immediate event, the sound engineer won't have the option to control the sound. He can mix it, he can do all that's necessary to get a good sound out of the people who are performing, but he doesn't have the control, ultimately, unless he's told to do it, to restrict the overall sound level.
No, and just to reiterate that they do this. The crew that we use are from the Thursford collection. They're very, very accomplished with sound. Kieran Lowe and his team. I mean, they would know instantly if they were overloading things, and people would leave the field, as has happened in the past when the most heaviest rock bands arrive. If they're too noisy, people will fly from the field. So we're quite aware if it's too uncomfortable.
But you don't specifically ask them to monitor outside the ground?
We don't ask them to
Not
monitor.
outs- Not outside the ground, no.
Okay. So I suppose that the other question I might have is if you could specifically state what your intention is to do with this license, the specific activities that you think you might want to do in the future.
I mean, the main point of getting the premises license rather than the club license is to make the club more inclusive, so anyone can come on the events that it's to cover the events we already do, not to add more. So just to help raise funds and just sort of get rid of the need of, either becoming a member or signing people in. And so, yeah, just so we can serve to the public with, with less paperwork, basically. I mean, yeah.
And Kevin, you've got a question.
I've got a couple of questions, and it's just picking up from what Peter said. You said you're on a member's license at the moment, and do people actually sign in then under the current?
Yeah, so
process?
all the cricketers have to become members. So we take their names and addresses, all the committees' names and addresses. All the bowls club have to become members. It's only £2. They all become members. And then the cricket team, we sign in the away cricket team as a team. And then if we get people who come off the street, if there's a member there, we can sign them in. And my understanding is up to 10 people at a time. It used to be only 2, I think, but the license was changed.
With the changes then that you propose to make by this license superseding the members license, is there a potential of you possibly opening up more during the week to attract the public in? Because
No,
right,
we don't employ any staff. So we don't, we have I do the bar and another guy from the village does the bar. We don't get paid, so we're not going to sit there on a Tuesday night when no one's going to come in anyway. We've tried in the past to encourage people to come on a Friday night. It's worked on and off over the years, but we haven't done it for the last 2 years, just with no music, but it's not worked.
right. It's just understanding, because if for example, under this license, people don't need to check in with a member, then there's potential that you could advertise that you could hold more private events or other events that wouldn't need people to know a member to be signed in. So what you're saying is that isn't the case of what this license is about to extend.
No.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I think we come to closing. Yeah, of course.
Sorry, Peter, just come back to you because we heard about decibel noise. I know it's environment health, but is there a limit? We've heard 88 decibels. Is that exceptional or out of the norm? Is there a limit to what people can have?
If I stated a limit, I'd probably be giving you misinformation. So I'd have to refer to colleagues in environmental health, really.
Right, I believe we come to closing submissions, unless you'd like to. Oh, yes, objector. If you'd like to if you'd like to say anything else, now is your time.
I think from my point of view, living very close to the ground and other people in the area, which I can't speak for because I'm not supposed to, but if I listen to comments, the real issue with the events that are held is the, if you like, the public nuisance element of the loud sound. The other thing about the license, really, I mean, you've been discussing your current license and potentially a new one. It seems that there's a total reliance upon the people within the sports club to operate within that license. Currently, the guys are pretty good, but if they're not there, there needs to be some parameters to restrict and generally apply the license in a thoughtful manner, which currently does happen with the committee for the sports club. But if they're not there, somebody else takes over. Unless there are some parameters within the license, it is potentially open to abuse. Currently, no, but in the future, it could be.
Right, thank you very much.
Just on that point, I mean, there's no, I am a trustee, so is Andrew. So we're a charity. Overstrand Sport Club is a charity. The village bought the field off Lady Battersea in 1935. It costs a lot of money to run, I reckon about 10.5 grand a year on average to run the field. There's no plans for the sports club to finish, and there's no plans for trustees. So there's 5 trustees at the moment, and there's no plans for those trustees to be finished either. I mean, it is a concern of mine because I'm in the 60s now, and where trustees are going to come from in the future, but there is no plan to change the way that the field is run.
Okay, thank you. Peter. Sum up.
To sum up, this application is for a new premises, and it's been stated the club premises certificate will be surrendered once and if it is granted. Licensable activities sought are plays, films, regular entertainment, indoor sporting events from 10:00 to midnight, recorded music 0900 to 1. Oh, sorry, that's part of the regularity. Alcohol service 0900 to 0100. Late night and refreshment 2300 to midnight, and hours open will be 8:30 to 01:30. It was 14 representations. Subcommittee must have regard to promoting the licensing objectives in the overall interests of the local community and give appropriate weight to it. Bearing in mind the representations received, the guidance under section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, the Norfolk District Council's statement of licensing policy, must have regard to all these in deciding whether to grant the application with conditions or refuse the application completely. There is a right of appeal against the decision of the subcommittee to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days. This is available to any party aggrieved by the decision. Concludes my submission, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, do you wish to say or any more in conclusion? You're happy?
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. And our legal advisor, please.
No further comments. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Well, in that case, thank you all for your time. We will now go and deliberate on this application. And I think we'll be letting you know within 5 days, working days.
Yeah, so that would be correct. So it will be 5 working days for the decision, which will be given to you in writing. Appended to that decision will be any legal advice given to the members in deliberations. Thank you.
Yeah, so that concludes the meeting. Thank you very much for coming and informing us of what your intentions are and of anything else that's come along. And we'll now go and deliberate this and come up with some reasoned facts to give to you.